Hello, buddy, and welcome to a tropical update here. This is probably going to be a little bit of a long tropical update here, so just kind of get sit back and relax here with this tropical update. We have an active Atlantic right now, main game in town being Hurricane Delta. However, what used to be Tropical Storm Gamma in the Gulf of Mexico is now degraded down to a post-tropical cyclone. And it's no longer to be much of a threat, fortunately. Um, Other than maybe some rainfall that may be happening with the storm as some more convection fires off near the center of circulation as it makes a landfall again over the Yucatan here again, but fortunately as a post-tropical cyclone here, not a near Category 1 hurricane like it did a few days ago. And here's a closer look at the infrared imagery here, and you can see infrared visible imagery here, and you can see a little better look at what used to be Tropical Storm Gamma as it starts to make a closer approach to the Yucatan here, and eventually likely to make a landfall here as it kind of meanders around inland over the Yucatan as a weak post-tropical cyclone there. The main game in town, however, is right in front of your screen here, is a recently upgraded Hurricane Delta in the Caribbean right now with the 80-mile-an-hour winds making this a potent Category 1 hurricane here as it moves away from as it's pretty much due southwest of the island of Jamaica there, as you can see in the last few frames there, and a big burst of convection right over the center of circulation here, improving the CDO, or what we call the central dense overcast here, over time with this storm here. So really remarkable to see the storm just intensify here, continue to intensify here with time as it gets into really ripe and favorable conditions for rapid intensification like it's been doing for the past 3 hours here. It's currently actually undergoing rapid intensification, I should say, to clarify here. Um, really incredible stuff. And if this does, like the National Hurricane Center forecast, if it does become a major hurricane and it's part of the Caribbean here in the Western Caribbean, it'll be the first major hurricane in the Western Caribbean since Hurricane Rena in 2011. If you couldn't believe that, over 6 years ago was the last time we had a Category 3 hurricane or higher in this part of the world in the Western Caribbean here. Of course, the last one, like I said, would be Rena 2011, and that one peaked as a 113, not 113, 115 mile per hour Category 3 major hurricane. This one is poised to intensify into a 120 mile per hour Category 3 hurricane from the latest National Hurricane Center forecast cone. And personally, I don't like to put in my own personal opinions, but personally, I could see it perhaps even going in any even higher than that, given the current conditions Hurricane Delta is in right now. Really, really favorable conditions Hurricane Delta is in right now. And here's the latest forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center here for Hurricane Delta as of Monday, October 5th, 2020, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, revision number 6. Center is currently located at 16.8 degrees north, 80.3 degrees west. Maximum sustained winds at 80 miles per hour, making this a Category 1 hurricane. Winds to the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour in this latest update. Tropical storm warnings in effect for all the Cayman Islands and then all of the island of Youth, Cuba there, and then parts of western Cuba. Tropical storm warning is in effect for, and a little part of Cuba, probably just a little bit west of Havana, Cuba, under a tropical storm watch, and then parts of the Yucatan under a hurricane warning, and then parts of it also under a tropical storm warning as well. And like I said, Hurricane Delta is forecast to either make a really close approach to, or perhaps make a landfall, going off the center line of the forecast, kind of make a landfall as a Category 3 major hurricane here by about Wednesday morning. It looks like early Wednesday morning here. It looks like um, over time here. So a really serious storm to watch here. Again, the main game in town to watch here for the Atlantic wise. And again, it's forecast to come off the Yucatan here. If it does make landfall, either come off the Yucatan or enter the Gulf of Mexico here as a major hurricane, regardless here with about 120 mile-an-hour winds. But fortunately, weaken a little bit as it makes landfall either going off this forecast cone either between the Louisiana-Texas border or as far east as the Florida Panhandle there, as you can see with time. Fortunately, the storm is going to be racing and increasing in forward speed as it makes landfall, wherever it decides to make landfall. That is, fortunately, forecast to increase in forward speed, so it's not going to stay around like Sally did or any other of the infamous hurricanes we've had the past 5 years in the Atlantic. It's not forecast to stay around for a while. It's going to be in and out in a few hours here, fortunately. However, that does lead to a bad impact is that if the storm weakens, it won't be really much. It'll be too little, too late. Actually, I should say, if it does weaken some from these cooler sea surface temperatures the storm will be heading into if it does go as forecast here. If the forecast cone holds right now and say it goes directly as forecast here. And of course, this is not a 100% certainty here. This is just me giving an example. If it does do it, it'll weaken some, likely due to some cooler sea surface temperatures ahead of it. Right now, along the coastline of the Gulf Coast here. However, it'll likely probably do it too little, too late here, and it probably wouldn't put a damper too much on the impacts wise here of where Hurricane Delta ultimately makes landfall here. So still a dangerous system regardless if it weakens a little bit or maintains its intensity as it makes landfall, or if it decides to make landfall on the Gulf Coast here. I really want to stress that. And then here's the infrared imagery off of GO16 here, and you can see, like I said uh, earlier in the last satellite imagery that I was showing of the storm, a intensifying storm here. Actually, it's rapidly intensifying because I believe the last time I did this update, the winds were about 40 miles per hour. About this time last time I did my update, and now they're at 80 miles per hour, which of course meets the criteria for rapid intensification. So thus, Delta is rapidly intensifying here as the night goes on here. And it could even expect even more intensification here as the night goes on and into the overnight hours here, unfortunately, due to really favorable conditions the storm is heading into. Earlier, we thought maybe dry air might be an issue, trying to get entrained into the system might be an issue, but now it's looking increasingly unlikely that dry air will get entrained into the system and at least contribute to it weakening at least somewhat here, or halting its intensification phase. When it looks more and more unlikely here as the night progresses here. As you can see, all that dry air that was perhaps going to get entrained into the storm is now kind of going away here with more and more convection bursts right around where the storm is generally located here, kind of and uh, pushing out all that dry air. Fortunately for the storm, but unfortunately for everybody that's going to be impacted by the storm. And you can see here a sandwich imagery from Go16 here, which is a combination of IR and visible imagery. Unfortunately, of course, as I'm making this update, it is nighttime over this part of the world here, so you're not going to be seeing visible imagery, but only IR imagery as of this point in time. But you could easily see in this infrared imagery here, this mesoscope imagery that updates once every minute here from the Go16 satellite we have in space, a increasingly organizing hurricane here with time, unfortunately, here developing central dense overcast, or what we call a CDO here, going on with the storms. It's just pretty much all signals an intensifying cyclone here with time, unfortunately. And let's quickly go over and talk about post-tropical cyclone Gamma. Um, Located at 21.6 degrees north, 88.4 degrees west. Maximum sustained winds estimated to be at 35 miles per hour. Moving southwest at 6 miles per hour. Unfortunately, again, forecast to continue weakening on as it heads inland here over the Yucatan. Only really providing a little bit of a rainfall threat for them, as you can see with these little convection bursts here and there near the center of circulation. So this thing expect maybe some isolated heavy rainfall occurring with this storm here as it moves inland and weakens even further than it is right now. Same we could see with the infrared water vapor imagery here, as you could see, not really well-defined system at all, hence why the National Heritage Center degraded this now to a post-tropical cyclone here. And then you could also see the ominous view of Hurricane Delta appearing on this screen as well in its water vapor imagery here. And unfortunately, due to Gamma existing in the first place, it was one of the reasons that Hurricane Delta is being given a chance of rapid intensification here in a really favorable environment that it's dealing with right now. Is due to, in part, not Hurricane Gamma, what used to be high-end tropical storm Gamma, I should say. Is what led to it, because the huge moisture field that at one point Gamma had helped kind of dissipate all that dry air that was left behind from a stalled front in the central Gulf of Mexico. So I guess you could thank or hate Gamma here for giving Delta more favorable conditions to deal with here with time. And here's a quick look at Tropical Storm Maria in the open East Pacific. Like I said in the last few updates, poses absolutely no threat to land, only really a threat for any boaters or marine interests that would be in the immediate area of the storm. 45-mile-per-hour storm. You can stop the video right now and read the latest if you want to. It's up to you. And then here's rainbow infrared imagery off of GO17 here of the storm. And you can easily see why it's degraded now to a weak tropical storm here. Just look at that open circulation there, really shared system, really weak system here, as you can see. And here's a quick look at newly formed tropical depression 19E. 19E is forecast to be a peak as a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm as it kind of meanders around as part of the world here in the East Pacific. Fortunately, away from all land here. You can see Mexico there on the top right of the screen, but fortunately, forecast to stay away from Mexico here and really only be a threat for, like I said with Marie here, really only be a threat for any marine interest or any boaters that happen to be in the immediate area of this storm here. And of course, the storm is currently located at 13.3 degrees north, 105.6 degrees west. The maximum sustained winds estimated to be at 35 miles per hour. Winds to the north-northwest at 0 miles per hour, and the 19E is forecast to peak as a 45-mile-per-hour tropical storm. And here's infrared imagery of that storm there, tropical depression 19E there, and you can see it is consolidating a little bit better there with time. And then here's a look at another storm to watch here. This time in the West Pacific here, tropical storm Chanham right now, forecast to peak as an 80-knot typhoon here, which is about Category 1 force equivalent on the Saffir-Simpson scale, or about 90 miles per hour on the Saffir-Simpson scale, making it pretty much a high-end Category 1 on the Saffir-Simpson scale wise there. As it nears Japan here, either perhaps making a landfall or skirting Japan there as either a intensifying maybe Category 1 typhoon there, or a weakening typhoon into a tropical storm there over time there, as you can see in this forecast cone. And then here's the reason why the Joint Typhoon Warning Center aren't really too enthusiastic about this storm intensifying rapidly here, unlike with the Hurricane Delta in the Caribbean here, is because of just how big and broad the system is. Usually with bigger storms here, like what you're seeing with Chanham here, it takes them a little bit longer to get going here. They don't usually intensify as rapidly as say Hurricane Delta is right now. So that's probably one of the contributing factors here into why the Joint Typhoon Warning Center aren't really predicting much in the way of rapid intensification for this probably soon to be typhoon, perhaps in the West Pacific Basin right now. And also, lastly, wanted to go over. Almost forgot to go over this. The key messages here for Hurricane Delta right now. I believe they're crucial to know here. You can, of course, stop the video right now and read this if you want to. This is the English version of that for, again, Hurricane Delta. And here's the Spanish version as well if you want to, of course, stop the video right now and read this if you want to. And that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Remember to always get official information from places like the National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, and of course our local officials here as the season progresses here and as the situation here progresses on with time here. Of course, for the National Weather Service, type up NWS.weather, NWS or this National Weather Service or weather.gov on the top of your screen there. Of course, have all the links down in the description below if you want to take a look at that. And you could, of course, click on this map wherever you are. Say you live in Louisiana, click over in Louisiana. This will take you to the forecast office in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm going to give you all these forecast headers here and all this crucial preparedness information that you need to know here in advance for preparing for hurricanes like Delta here throughout the season here. And of course, they have a map below that too. So say you live in New Orleans proper, click on New Orleans, and it'll give you a 5-day. Oops, I accidentally clicked on the marine options. Let's go ahead and click over to, I guess, Biloxi, Mississippi here, or Gulfport, Mississippi, wherever it ends up clicking on here. Accidentally clicking the wrong thing again here. To click a little bit inland here and get to Biloxi. But anyways, if I were to click on Biloxi here, and still, again, I somehow clicked on the one part of Biloxi that was the coastline there. But when I click on and part of the land here, oh, finally, there you go. You'll see that it includes a 5-day graphical forecast here. As you can see, and they have for Friday tropical storm conditions possible, and Friday night hurricane conditions possible there. And they also have a detailed forecast below that too. 7-day detailed forecast, let's say, in text below that. And of course, you could use this map right here and click wherever you are located wise. And then they even have this little part here where you can search in and put in your zip code here, or nearest city or town name near you, and get official information that way from the National Weather Service. And they also have an hourly weather forecast here too, so you can plan a day at hour by hour here if you need to prepare for any of these tropical cyclones currently going on here, or actually, I should more stress Hurricane Delta here because this is only for the continental and 50 states in the United States here. And then for the National Hurricane Center, just type up nhc.noaa.gov and you'll know you're on the correct page when you see all this crucial information right in front of your fingertips here. Again, nhc.noaa.gov, or just NHC, or again, just National Hurricane Center, and it'll be the first search result. And of course, you know you're on the correct page when you see all this crucial life-saving information right in front of your fingertips here. And that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. In summary, keep a close eye on Hurricane Delta here as the hours progress here. Tropical Storm Gamma forecast to be not really much of a threat, if any, here as it heads inland here over the Yucatan, fortunately. But the main game in town, of course, is Hurricane Delta, poised to continue to rapidly intensify here over the next at least 36 hours here before it either makes land or makes a close approach to the Yucatan here within about the next 36 hours from now. So it has about 36 hours from this update here to continue to rapidly intensify here into monster, I would imagine, unfortunately, here. So please keep an eye on Delta if you're in the path of Delta, Hurricane Delta. Please keep an eye on your local officials, National Hurricane Center, and National Weather Service as well for the latest up-to-date official information on these storms. I, of course, have all the links down below of what I use in this tropical update in the description below. If you want to click on the links down below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. I apologize for the length of this update here. Again, probably another long one here, I imagine. And again, I hope everybody has a great day night wherever you guys are. Stay safe, of course. Until then, see you guys on the next video. Peace.